here we go with vaccines again. This is Operation Warpspeed 2.0. So remember, Trump funded Operation Warpspeed 1.0. He authorized it. He put 18 billion behind it. Now we're talking about 500 billion. It was presented as private investment. I'm calling hooey on that. It's not private investment because a lot of the people involved are government contractors, and now that we're running the government finances on a secret basis, you're not going to come up with this 500 billion privately. It's based one way or another. It's coming through the government. So this is a Manhattan kind of project to win at AI. Now, if the cover story is vaccines and they're really serious, what you need to know is that mRNA vaccines, first of all, it's not a vaccine. I'm assuming they're calling it a vaccine because they want indemnification. mRNA technology is poison. It's toxic. There is an excellent book that Suchrit Bhakti and Dr. Michael Palmer wrote from Doctors for COVID Ethics. It's up at Solari. It's up at the Doctors for COVID Ethics. It's called mRNA Vaccine Toxicity. Mary Holland wrote the foreword. I wrote the afterword. And it explains in great detail what a killing technology this is. So we're talking about technology that we know of as of today, based on Denny Rancourt's work, Mark Skidmore's work. This has killed and disabled millions of people. And so the notion that we're going, and you need indemnification. If you're a pharmaceutical company and you're injecting mRNA technology into people, you need indemnification because financially you can't afford to kill that many people without being indemnified, right? So this is very dangerous stuff. And there are two things that are dangerous to the average person. One is they're going to take all your data, including private healthcare data, consolidate it into an operation where it can be consolidated with all other data in a way that builds a digital control grid. This is the infrastructure for the digital concentration camp. But second, if they really do give people mRNA technologies or inject us with mRNA, a lot of people are going to die. And what's frightening is we've seen that the adverse event coming off of mRNA injections is cancer. So
Right.
now, let me take you back. I just want to take you back to before the COVID injections rolled out. I receive a business newsletter, which I find to be very accurate and very good. And I think it was the summer of 2020, before the injections rolled out, they started in December, I got a copy and they had just a little paragraph or so that said, investors are very excited about what they're going to get with mRNA technology because after COVID injections are made, they're going to make injections. And then they proceeded to describe a whole series of diseases that were in fact the adverse events from vaccines. So if you look at the business model, it's fantastic because you give people poison, they get symptoms of toxicity, then you declare those disease, and then you make another poison to give them. Do you know what I mean? And around you go. It's an incredibly profitable financial treadmill. And we have seen investors all around the world being proposed to build these huge mega factories of just-in-time vaccines. So this is happening not just in the U.S., but if my feedback from the investment community is correct, these mega factories are being built all around the world, and they're planning. Now, finally, here's the question. The people who've been making this stuff, when the injections come out and get injected, what we're finding in the materials is all sorts of materials that nobody knows what they are. So we have secret ingredients again. So the question is, for the healthcare component of this, what's the real goal? And your guess is as good as mine. But if you look at how extraordinarily dangerous mRNA technology is, what you need to know is, one, you've got a real privacy issue here because you have many of the top contractors, government contractors, private corporations in the world who's going to have unbelievable access to all your data. They're going to have more data on you than you have on you because it's going to be 24/7 coming in on the, sort of the digital technology. So you've got a real privacy issue, number one. And number two, if there's any effort to force you to take this stuff, you're really talking about a mass atrocity. So this is Warpspeed 2.0, combined with an incredible competition between us and China over AI. And it's extraordinary. And one of the things that was interesting is if you look at the record of Ellison and Altman, who we could go into, it was remarkable that the president would stand up and propose putting $500 billion into their pocket to do these things. So I would say if you are the people who've been supporting Trump on the theory that he's going to help Americans end the great poisoning, it's sure to say you were sadly disappointed. And the only thing I could do to make you feel better is I think the real goal here is to build the data center infrastructure for a control grid and a digital ID and an all digital financial system. Healthcare is just the excuse.